Hello. Okay, so we are going to start Sonnet 116 by William Shakespeare. So it's a sonnet that the great dramatist William Shakespeare has written. Those who have heard the name William Shakespeare, they must be knowing that William Shakespeare is one of the greatest dramatists of Indian literature. And many of his dramas, many of his tragedies and comedies have been actually there in the students who study English as their special subject in college. So this is one of the he is one of the greatest dramatists, and apart from writing the tragedies and comedies, he has also written certain poems. In fact, some of his poems are the part of the tragedies and comedies that he has written. So, Sonnet 116 also is one such poem that is actually the part of one of the dramas that he has written. Okay. So, here I am going to share the screen Sonnet 116 by William Shakespeare. But before that, something about the poet himself. William Shakespeare, I would be reading from the textbook, your textbook, and I will be giving you certain important points because you can be asked MCQs from this. You can be asked optional answers from this. So please keep your notebook open, the notebook that you have for English, for written and spoken communication. So please keep it open and please keep writing the points because they are very important. Sonnet 116 by William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was born on 26 April 1564 at Stratford-upon-Avon. He was an English poet and playwright. He is regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's most eminent dramatist. So you should always remember this one thing, that William Shakespeare was one of the greatest dramatists in the world. Shakespeare is popularly known as the Bard of Avon. B capital, Bard of Avon. You should write this down in your notebook. B-A-R-D, Bard of A capital, A-V-O-N, Bard of Avon. Avon is the name of the town in which he lived, and Bard of Avon. So he was considered to be the Bard of Avon. So this is one of the names that was given to William Shakespeare. So in the MCQ, in the optional answers, you can be asked a question like, William Shakespeare was popularly known as blank, and then you will be getting 4 options. Out of those 4 options, one will be Bard of Avon. I hope it is clear. So please clearly write it down in your notebook. William Shakespeare is popularly known as the Bard of Avon. Okay. He began a successful career in London as an actor, writer, and part owner of a play company called the Lord Chamberlain's Men, which came to be later known as the King's Men. And his body of work consists of about 38 plays, 154 sonnets, 2 long narrative poems, and several other poems. So William Shakespeare actually was not just a dramatist, he was also an actor. In fact, he started his work as an actor. Then gradually he started producing and directing dramas. He started writing, directing, producing dramas. So he actually got popularity in his lifetime, in fact. So overall his work consists of 38 plays, 154 sonnets, 2 long narrative poems, and several other poems. Okay. His work is considered most enduring. His plays have been translated into every major living language and are performed more often than those of any other playwright. So his plays have been performed more than any other playwright. So that is very important because Shakespeare and his work is considered to be the most important work as soon as as far as direction and playwriting and cinema is concerned. In fact, even in Indian cinema, many of his plays have been adapted. For example, um, Heather is actually the adoption of a play written by him, that is known as Hamlet. Romeo and Juliet is a play that has been written by William Shakespeare, and it has been actually adopted by many writers. One of the adaptation is called Ramlila. Then Omkara is actually the adoption of William Shakespeare's play Othello. So there are many plays that have been written by. He is one of the most popular writers. In fact, you can say most popular in terms of adoption of his plays and his work. William Shakespeare retired to Stratford around 1613 and died there in 1616. Some of his works include comedy, as you like it, The Comedy of Errors, The Merchant of Venice, So these are the names of the comedies that he wrote. A Midsummer Night's Dream, The Taming of the Shrew, The Tempest, Twelfth Night. So comedies are the plays that end on the happy note, right? And tragedies. So tragedies are Romeo and Juliet, Julius Caesar, Macbeth, Hamlet, Troilus and Cressida, King Lear, Othello, Antony and Cleopatra. So these are some of the tragedies. Tragedies are the plays that end on a tragic note. So this is what we know about the writer, the poet William Shakespeare. Okay. Now, one more important thing, and that is the name of this poem is Sonnet 116. So the name itself contains the word sonnet. So what is a sonnet? Many of you must be knowing sonnet is a 14-line poem. Basically, it is an Italian poetry, and it was adopted greatly by the English writers. Sonnets are 14 lines poems, and there are majorly two types of sonnets: Petrarchan sonnet and English sonnet. Petrarchan or Italian sonnet and English sonnet. How are they different? They have different rhyme schemes. What is rhyme scheme? We are going to see that soon. As soon as we start learning the poem, I will teach you how to see the rhyme scheme of the poem. In English sonnet, again, there are two types, and one is Spencerian sonnet, another is Shakespearean sonnet, and this one that we have to study today, that is Shakespearean sonnet. Okay. Now, this sonnet is about eternal and unchanging nature of love. So the theme of this poem is unchanging and eternal nature of love. So I'm reading from your textbook about the poem. Love should not fade with time, instead it should last forever. So what the poet says here is the nature of love should be such that it should not end with time. In fact, its nature should be such that it lasts forever. This sonnet is a portrayal of what love really is and what it can withstand. It is praising the glories of lovers who have come to each other freely and enter into a relationship based on trust and understanding. The first four lines talk about love that is constant and strong and will not alter when it alteration finds. The following lines acclaim that true love is indeed an ever fixed mark which will survive any crisis. In line 7-8, the poet claims that we may be able to measure love to some degree, but this does not mean we fully understand it. Love's actual words cannot be known. It remains a mystery. The remaining lines of the third quatrain, that is line 9 to 12, reaffirms the perfect nature of love that is unshakable throughout time and remains so even to the edge of being or death. In the final couplet, the poet declares that if he is mistaken about the constant, unmovable nature of perfect love, then he must take back all his writings on love, truth, and faith. Moreover, he adds that if he has in fact judged love inappropriately, no man has ever really loved in the ideal sense that the poet professes. Okay? So, this is what your textbook writes about the poem. I think I should show you the poem once, the entire poem in the in your class actually. So as you will see, the poem is made up of 14 lines because it is a sonnet. A sonnet is a poem that is made up of 14 lines. Okay. And there is a rhyme scheme that the poem follows. What is that? We are going to see soon. So I hope you guys can see the poem now. Sonnet 116 by William Shakespeare. Now count the lines of the poem first. Count the lines of the poem first. In fact, in your textbook, if any one of you have the textbook, you will be able to see that the textbook actually divides the poem into four different sections. Yeah. So Maya, you are correct. It is made up of 14 lines. But even more clearly than this picture that I am showing you, the textbook actually dividing the poem into four different sections. That is section A, B, C, and D. You will be able to see that there is first, second, third, and fourth section. In the first, now try and see the last word of each and every line. Let me not the marriage of true minds admit impediments, love is not love. It alters by its alteration finds are bent with the remover to remove. So you should be able to see, observe that minds and finds, they are spoken in the same way, and love and remove, they are written, the spellings actually are almost similar. In the same way, in the second stanza, oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark whose words unknown, although his height be taken. So, in the second stanza, mark and bark are spoken in the same way. In the same way, shaken and taken are spoken in the similar way. So now you'll be able to give minds and finds A. If we call minds and finds A, then we'll be able to call love and remove B. Then in the second stanza, mark and bark C. Then in second stanza, second line, shaken and taken D. Then ABAB, CBCD. This is the rhyme scheme. In the third stanza, love's not time school, though rosy lips and cheeks. Within his bending sickle's compass come, love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. So, ABABCDCD, then peaks and weeks can be called E, and come and do F. So, ABABCDCDEFEF, and last two lines are again, which is called couplet. If this be error and upon me prove, I never did, nor no man ever loved. So this is GG. So the overall rhyme scheme of this poem is ABAB, CBCD, EFEF, GG. This is how you bring out the rhyme scheme of the poem. And please be very clear about one thing. Sonnet is a form of poetry in which the style, the rhyme scheme, the form, that is very important. In fact, equally important as the theme of the poem. Theme means subject. The poem's subject is important, but in sonnet, also the form is very important. And in poetry, you will be asked short answers. So in this poem, you can be asked, so I'm giving you the first short question that you can be asked in the exam. What is the rhyme scheme of the poem Sonnet 116? I repeat the question. What is the rhyme scheme of the poem Sonnet 116? So the rhyme scheme is, the rhyme scheme of this poem is, you should remember this, you should memorize this. The rhyme scheme of the poem is ABAB, CBCD, EFEF, GG. ABAB, CBCD, EFEF, GG. I hope I am clear. The poem actually is divided into stanzas, but the copy that I am showing you, that does not show the clear division. If you have the textbook, you will be able to identify that division. The poem is actually divided into three stanzas, and the last two lines, that's couplet. Okay. So first stanza starts with let me and ends with remove. Second stanza starts with oh no, ends with taken. Third starts with love's not time school and ends with doom. And then the last two lines. Now the four line stanzas are the paragraph in the poem. The four line stanzas in the poem are called quatrains. I'll give you the spelling Quatrain, quatrains. The four line stanzas in the poem are called quatrains. And the two lines in the end of the poem is called couplet. Okay. Uh, Now let us understand the poem. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds. Okay, one more thing. In the second and fourth line, love and remove, they are called B in the rhyme scheme. Why are they called these? Though they are spoken differently, love and remove, though they are spoken differently, pronounced differently, they are called these in the rhyme scheme because this is the poetic liberty that the poet takes. Okay? अभी अभी हमने rhyme scheme समझी है. Minds and finds को हम A कहते हैं, love और remove को हम B कहते हैं. और ऐसे हम एक राइम स्कीम इसकी प्रिपेयर हमने प्रिपेयर करी और मतलब उसी राइम स्कीम उसी फॉर्मेट में इस पोएम को लिखा गया है. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इफ यू गाइस हैव नॉट अंडरस्टूड प्लीज आस्क मी अबाउट दिस. दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. Okay, now let us go back to the poem. Let me not to the marriage of impediments, marriage of two minds, admit impediments. Uh, So, as we know, this poem actually attempts to define love. Uh, so, now we are going to start the first quatrain. In the first quatrain, the speaker says that love, the marriage of two minds, is perfect and unchanging. It does not admit impediments. And admit impediments. It does not, it is not, it is not that we are kind of trying to give a wrong definition of love. It does not change when it finds all changes in the loved one. Love is not love which alters when its alteration finds. To alter means to change. Love is not love which alters when its alteration finds or bends with the remover to remove. It doesn't get erased when an eraser tries to erase it. Okay? So it does not admit impediments and it does not change when it finds changes in the loved one. So let me not to the marriage of two minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when its alteration finds or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. It is an ever fixed mark. So love is, so this is the second quadrant. The speaker tells what love is through a metaphor. Metaphor he uses. It is a guiding star to lost ships. You know, it is an ever fixed mark means it is a kind of lighthouse in the sea when you are traveling in the sea and it is night. There will be a lighthouse in the sea. This is called here ever fixed mark. So love is like an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. Tempest, tufan, and is never shaken. So it is a mark on in the sea that is not shaken at all. And even while there is tempest, tufan bhi agar ho, so be it is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark. Bark माने sheep. तो कोई भी शीप अगर अपना रास्ता भूल जाए तो दिस इज लाइक अ स्टार दैट विल गाइड इट. मतलब ये ऐसा तारा है, एक ऐसा स्टार है जो भटके हुए शीप को सही रास्ता दिखाए. whose words unknown although his height be taken. whose words unknown although his height be taken. माने love is so worthy that its worth is almost unknown. Its real importance is not known by anyone, although his height be taken. So, though you take into consideration the height of love, the importance of love, still its importance is so high, it is so great that you never know its worth. Whose words unknown, although his height be taken, love is not time school. Time school. It is called time school. So it is not something that can be defined by love. Why it is called time school? Because see, next phrase of the same line, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickles compass come. Within his bending sickles compass come. So here, this in this line, the poet actually refers to the physical beauty, you know, which is equally important in love. Because often in many, for many people, love actually starts with the physical beauty. That is why the poet says, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickles compass come. Compass we know, it is one of the instruments, it is one of the equipments that we have for mathematical study. Now, in the bending sickles compass means in the overall compass of love, in overall horizons of love, rosy lips and cheeks also come. So rosy lips and cheeks are also a part because of which love happens, love occurs. But it is not time speed because with time, rosy lips and cheeks are going to disappear. But time would not, but love would not disappear. So it is not time speed. Love alters not with its brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. Even to the edge of doom. Doom. Money doomsday. So doomsday is considered to be the last day, or on the day of maybe our end of our life, doomsday. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. Means everything throughout this life is going to be covered by love. It doesn't alter with his brief hours and weeks. If this be, and the poet says all these things, and then finally he says, if this be error, and upon me proved, I never did, nor no man ever loved. And whatever I have said, if this be error, if this is wrong, and upon me proved, and if it is proved that it is an error, I never wrote, nor no man ever loved. Then I never wrote in my life, and no man ever loved in his or her life. So this is how the poet defines love. I hope I could be clear in whatever I taught. If there is any confusion, please write those questions. And in the next class, you can raise those questions. I will answer the questions.